Heyo guys, girls, and everyone in between, this is Rebellious Pastry here, and there was this small local delivery place that was known for taking a sandwich and delivering it by the name of Johnny Jams. Now here's my story about my first ever day at Johnny Jams. So I come in and there was already delays up the wazoo, so I got my uniform, so I asked my boss, how does one do the cash register? Since I've never actually been on the employee's side of one of those things. Yet he gave me a basic run through and he said if I needed any of his help, then he would be right there. So apparently that cash register had a ton of buttons on it, and being the type of person I was thinking, this thing's gonna be cake, man. Making pastry requires a good amount of buttons, so I should be fine. Apparently, when you did not make those buttons on something that you are using, it feels like there's 10 times the amount of buttons than there is. So, the first ever customer came in, and all that I went through my head was, wow, I'm now an employee. This feels weird to be back here and not to be the customer. So I tried to take this person's order when I felt like I got stranded in the middle of nowhere with the buttons on that machine. Then I'm like, hey boss, can you please help me? I don't know what I am doing. He comes over and helps me out. Then I apologize for the fact I didn't know what I was doing, and the customer understood because I'm sure everyone have had their first day at a job before. And as the shift went on, there were more and more delays, and I was starting to get a hold of the buttons still. Apparently, I learned that this place cuts their sandwiches in half and served pickles, and all of the other random buttons that I didn't know existed, which later on, I managed to learn that there was more buttons that I didn't know existed. But anyways, this one guy made a hand gesture to tell me to click the cut in half button. I looked at him like he had two heads, and I asked my boss about it. Then, it made sense to me. If anyone who I took their order is watching this, thank you so much for being patient for my dumb soul. Also, to my boss, if he's watching this, sorry for being such an annoying sleeve tugger, but for the circumstances we had that day, I did pretty well. After stuff started closing down, this manager had the newbie does the dishes rule, which I didn't mind. They had this powerful as crap hose that I could use to spray down the dishes, which I kind of had fun with. Now, the very first error I've ever made was unplugging both sinks at once when you're not supposed to do that, and I pretty much flooded the entire Johnny Jams kitchen, which apparently that was a common error, and my coworker was like, yep, I've done that one before, and I was standing there with wet socks and shoes as my boss was cleaning up the bleachy, soapy, watery mess I made. Thank you for the patience and cooperation. Then after that, my boss let me bring bread home. As of the time I recorded this, we just hit 500 subscribers, so thank you to all the guys, girls, and in-betweeners in my donut batch for helping me reach to 500, and I decided to start the Johnny Jams series because I used to work there. I don't work there anymore, and the reason why I waited until now to do the Johnny Jams series is to go ahead and fully separate me from the job at hand, just so that people aren't like, hey, you are working here currently right now. So yeah, these are just some interesting tales of what happened at Johnny Jams, and I'm gonna have at least a few more videos for Johnny Jams stuff, so please keep an eye out. And yeah, thank you guys, girls, and everyone in between for helping me get to 500 again, and I platonically love you, Pastries Donut Batch, and see you in a future to come.